All right, what's up, YouTube? It's Jack Crypto Guy bringing you a crypto market update. Obviously, we have a lot of uncertainty still kind of going on. Bitcoin kind of is catching its footing around $110,000. And structurally, I think that everything still looks good on a high time frame. Obviously, there's a lot of, nervousness when it comes to like the tariffs and like this whole trade war going on. The government's still shut down. And I do think that that's going to come to a resolution sometime soon. But I think that more importantly, this whole, liquidation event, I think that in my opinion, like it was hard to see, and it was a tough day for, a lot of my friends lost a lot of their money, and a lot of people are obviously rattled because, you saw a lot of altcoins go down like 85%. But in my opinion, structurally things still look good. They held most of the support when they closed on the daily, more importantly on the weekly, and things still look intact. But there are obviously cautionary things to kind of consider. And I still remain pretty bullish in terms of Bitcoin as long as we can maintain over $100,000. If we close below that 2 weeks in a row, I think that would be a really bad outlook. But, that all remains to be seen, and I'll update you if anything changes. I think that now more than ever, seeing people's altcoins go down like 85%, I think that it's just a reminder that most of these coins are vaporware and you should only really use them to accumulate more Bitcoin or just make money and get out of the market, because it's all essentially just kind of like highly speculative altcoins. Obviously there's, the more blue chip ones like Solana, Ethereum, etc. But, they still all go down and they're not immune to, 60 to 90% drops. So, if you're somebody that's still in the market, first and foremost, I would really think twice about doing leverage and trying to make it all back right away. It's a good time to kind of, reset, think about what your goals are, and write down a plan so that you can stick to it, because things happen so fast, as you guys can obviously see, especially on October 10th, where it's just like record liquidations. You kind of just like freeze up in that moment, or even if you don't, you can't really execute anything because the exchanges kind of go bust and you're just getting liquidated. I have like one of my friends basically told me that not only did he get liquidated, but he also set like those super low, like they call them stink bids, where the price, like he was like, oh man, like these are dream entries. Whenever the prices of the assets drop so much in crypto, those got instantly liquidated also. And like that to me just like made me take a step back, and I was like, okay, like I really need to consider, my plan moving forward, because again, it's not hard to make a lot of money in crypto. It's really hard though to keep it, because things happen along the way, and I don't even think that that's going to be the craziest thing that happens in this cycle. I don't know. We'll see. So I guess to give you guys some value and just like some perspective, I think that the name of the game getting in crypto is obviously you want to make the most amount of money in the shortest amount of time. And it's really important to own assets just generally in the world, because naturally inflation is going to continue to go up because of the money being printed and just like the overall liquidity cycles and all that kind of stuff. So I think that, obviously all these altcoins are very speculative, especially seeing these change over the years, and even more so the 4-year cycles. And I would really treat these as a means to an end, meaning that you either want to make, a lot more money in the short term with these altcoins, and you either want to take profits and put these into something in the real world. Maybe it's like real estate or gold or stocks or some kind of thing that gives you dividends, or you're more of like a crypto native and you want to ideally accumulate more Bitcoin. And so you want to treat these altcoins, and if you're still leveraging, then use that money, like pull some of it out, realize the profit, because it's not yours until it's in your bank account. So don't even count the money that you were up, before this whole liquidation event happened. It's how much money you started with and how much money you're exiting with. And so for me in particular, I try to pretty much accumulate as much Bitcoin as possible. And so my plan has always been, take on like, low leverage positions to kind of maximize the short, the upside. But I'm okay with, losing all my money on that exchange, because it's a really risky game that we play when we're messing with leverage. And any kind of altcoins that I have, I'm still bullish on Solana, Sui, Hyperliquid, and a few others, but I really did take the time to consolidate my investments to look at the ones that have pretty much been pretty strong, because if we continue to go up higher, they're going to probably outperform. And if we go, farther down and we go into a confirmed bear market, they're probably going to fare a little bit better than most of the other speculative altcoins, especially if they're not like part of a treasury or a spot ETFs or anything of that nature. So that's pretty much how I'm positioning things, and that's my plan moving forward. So as always, make sure you subscribe, smash the like button, and comment any questions you may have, and I'll see you soon. Bye.